Hey, Christiane here. I hope you are well. This is going to be a video on my tips for backpacking Australia for the first time, mate. And I need to brush up on my accent and put a shrimp on the barbie, mate. Okay, Australia is pretty massive, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but this is still probably going to be quite a long video, so, you know, just sit back, relax, maybe grab some popcorn, crisps, Vegemite. Where are the best places to go? Everywhere? The most common route for a first-time backpacker is the East Coast, Sydney to Cairns. So let's start with a breakdown of the highlights of the most popular destinations down the East Coast. Cairns. Amazing for adrenaline activities, white water rafting, bungee jumping, you name it. Big party town, amazing nightlife. It's also a good departure place for the Great Barrier Reef. There are loads of snorkeling and scuba trips departing from there too. Two quick recommendations: Gilligan's Backpackers. This is where the party's at, and Uncle Brian's Tour. This takes you around the rainforests of Cairns, where you'll see amazing wildlife, waterfalls, and just a great all-round sociable day. It includes taking you to Millie Mill Falls, which is where everyone gets these amazing shots, and also where a certain music video was filmed. Mysterious girl. Mission Beach. If you want to skydive in Australia, this is the place. Magnetic Island. This is an island just off the coast of Townsville. It is one of the best places to access the Great Barrier Reef, so obviously loads of water activities, jet skiing, sea kayaking, snorkeling. The Whitsunday Islands. There is such a wide bunch of tours you can book to explore the Whitsundays. They depart from a small town called Airlie Beach. The main Whitsunday Island is where to find that incredible beach you may have seen in pictures, but trust me, it's well worth exploring a good few of the islands because they are all beautiful. Noosa! Recently named Best Backpacker City in Australia, and for a good reason. Amazing nightlife and absolutely activity action-packed. Go snorkeling, surfing, kayaking, abseiling, hiking, skydiving. But don't forget to visit Fraser Island too, with its 30-mile long beach, wondrous rainforests and the beautiful Lake Mackenzie. They do tours departing from Noosa to Fraser Island, but it's also good to consider maybe renting a jeep and doing the island yourself with your new travel buddies. Brisbane, the third largest city in Australia. Not a common favourite with backpackers, but still a beautiful, laid-back city, world-class art galleries, amazing live music, and surprisingly good sushi. Surfers paradise. This, in my head, is like an Australian Miami South Beach. Very cool, young and modern, good for surfing, clearly, amazing nightlife and really good shopping too. Byron Bay. This, for a lot of backpackers, is their favourite destination. In my opinion, it conforms to what I think is stereotypical Australia. Massive beautiful beach, a real surf town, and most of the people there are young, really laid back and just there to have a good time. Then, of course, finally, Sydney. Sydney just has a ridiculous number of things to do. You've got your amazing beaches at Bondi and Manly, you've got a ton of famous landmarks you can take selfies with, events, nightlife, culture. Sydney is just one of my favourite cities I've ever been to. It's just cool. It's cool. So these are obviously the most common places for a first-time backpacker to visit. But even if it is your first time backpacking, you really should not forget to consider all the other bloody amazing places Australia has to offer. You have Melbourne, drive the Great Ocean Road to Adelaide, you have Alice Springs in the outback, you could even go to the beautiful city of Perth over on the west coast. If you're feeling really adventurous, this is uncommon, but you could escape to Tasmania, which is an island just sort of on the southeast of Australia, like more south than east, but southeast, and that is supposed to be beautiful. Now, I'm not going to go into any detail about any of these places because I'd just be here forever, but I'm going to put links in the description box below to websites that I think are really useful for travelling these cities. How do I get around Australia? There are so many ways. So you can rent a caravan. The most common way for a first-time backpacker to do it is just by a bus. You can get a Greyhound bus, there's the Oz Experience bus, you can take internal flights, you've got Jetstar airline which does super cheap internal flights because Australia is massive. You'd be surprised. Going from Perth to Sydney, which is one side to the other, takes about 5 hours, and that's like going from the UK to, like, I don't know, Dubai. It's a big country. In terms of shorter journeys, the public transport system isn't that good. You know, there are trains and there are buses and they are okay, they're doable and they are not too expensive. What can I expect from accommodation? Okay, so the hostels aren't massively cheap in Australia. They vary from place to place, but if you are getting one in Sydney, they're going to be at least £15, if not 20, for quite a good hostel. And you've really got to consider location with your hostels, especially in the big cities like Sydney, because you can get a hostel that's really close to Manly Beach, really close to Bondi Beach, really close to Circular Quay, which is where the harbour bridge is and everything. Or you might want to choose to spend a couple of days in each of those places, because I mean, cities like Sydney are pretty big, and sometimes it is better to book a hostel very local to what you're wanting to do for those couple of days, rather than stay in one place and keep getting buses to different places. But obviously it's completely dependent on the person and whether you like to stay in the same place, but the location of your hostel in a city is definitely something to consider. It's also good, if even possible, to get a hostel with free Wi-Fi. There is like no free Wi-Fi in Australia, so if you can find a hostel with free Wi-Fi, you're doing well. Speaking of free things, how do I do Australia on the cheap? Australia is not a cheap country. You really do have to be careful with your budget when you're there, because it's so easy just to spend all your money in like the first week. But my top 3 tips for keeping things cheap in Australia would be couch surfing. If you haven't heard of this, couch surfing is where you basically stay with a local for free for a couple of nights. You sign up on the website and you find someone that lives in the area who is willing for you to stay in their house. You do hear bad stories about this kind of thing, but on the whole everything's generally safe with couch surfing in Australia. If you pick someone on the website with really good reviews, then fingers crossed. I haven't tried it, I haven't been brave enough yet, but if you are, then it will save you a lot of money. Okay, back to the Wi-Fi situation. Where to get free Wi-Fi? So obviously there's McDonald's, but if you get really too sick of the smell, there is always public libraries which often have free Wi-Fi too. Another really good thing is Time Out magazine for Sydney. It's about $5, but it tells you all the free shows and live events that will be going on, that will be really good to see when you're there. And it's really worth getting that, because then you can see what's going on and see what you can get into for free and really make the most of your time there without spending too much money. And obviously you are going to want to spend money at some point going to amazing zoos or skydiving or something like that, but you can always do something on the cheap by going for a walk or finding the local botanic gardens. A really good recommended one is the Bonjai to Coogee walk in Sydney. It's supposed to be just absolutely stunning scenery down the beach. But you know, you can also do things just like stroll across the harbour bridge. Like, it's something ridiculous like $200 to climb over the harbour bridge, but just to stroll across it doesn't cost you a penny. I mean, I could go on and on telling you about all the free things there is to do in Australia, but that's just a waste of time. There are loads of websites which tells you all the free things to do in a particular area. I will link all of my favourite one of these websites below. Okay, all this talking of free stuff leads me nicely onto how much should I budget? So you obviously need to take in accommodation, travel, food and activities. The currency exchange rate is £1 to 1.83 Australian dollars. So let's say you do go down the hostel route as opposed to couch surfing. I would say you would need at least 35 Australian dollars for that. Food is not cheap. Even at the supermarket it's not cheap. I think you could do it on $10 a day, but just be really careful. You know, share food with the friends that you've made and keep your food in your hostel fridge over a long period of time. Learn to cook. You can still eat well, but yeah, it's not cheap. With your long distance travel, like your hop on hop off bus pass or your internal flights, it's definitely worth booking these before you arrive in country, because then you can look online, see where all the deals are at. But just from getting hop on hop off bus from Sydney to Cairns, the prices can be up to $600. So think about these kind of prices before you're going to Australia, so you don't have to worry about it in your daily budget. With your daily bus travel in and around cities, it's really not too expensive. I think when I was in Sydney, to go from Circular Quay over to Bondi Beach, it was about $3 or $4. So I would budget no more than $5 for the daily buses, because obviously sometimes you're going to do a bit of a longer trip around Sydney, but then sometimes you're going to be in smaller places like Airlie Beach, where you won't really need to take many buses. And finally, activities. Okay, so as I've mentioned all throughout the video, there is so much to do in Australia and the activities are not cheap. If you are wanting to have a good time but is still going to be on a bit of a budget, then I would pick sort of 5 things that you're really going to want to spend your money on. So that might be going to a really good zoo, or a skydive, or a bungee jump, or white water rafting. And there are some things that you really just can't miss, like a Whitsunday Islands tour or a Fraser Island trip. I personally would budget about $50 a day to do these activities, because then obviously some days you're not going to do anything, but you know, every 3 or 4 days you'll have $200 to do a big activity that you really want to do. I think $50 a day is a good amount for the average backpacker to do really fun things but also keep a budget. Which zoo should I go to? This is a fun question. I mean, you must know there is so many zoos in Australia because there's such a diverse wildlife out there. The zoo I went to was Taronga Zoo, which is known as the Zoo with a View, and it is in Sydney. And it was really cool. It had all the wildlife you could think of, and it was sort of up on a hill where you could overlook the whole of Sydney, which was really nice. I definitely recommend it. But obviously you might be looking for something a bit more in a zoo, like interacting with the animals a bit more. There's loads of different ones all over Australia which provide different things. So there's Underwater World, which is in Mooloolaba, which is on Queensland's Sunshine Coast, and there you can swim with seals. Or the best place to cuddle a koala is the Lone Pine Koala Sanctuary in Brisbane. But whichever zoo you decide to go to, and if you decide to go to more than one, I can guarantee you won't be disappointed. And even if you're not an animal person, I strongly recommend just going to at least one wildlife place, because if you're going to do it anywhere in the world, Australia is the place to do it. Will I need a visa? Yes, if you are a UK citizen, you will need a visa for Australia. The one I recommend is the e-visitor visa because it is free and it allows you to travel for 3 months at a time within a year. You have to be outside of Australia to apply, and the easiest way to access an e-visitor visa is through your travel agent or airline. Will I need a backpack? Now, I know this sounds like probably an obvious one to answer, but I personally think that if you're only going to Australia or Western countries, that a rolly suitcase is actually probably better, because everywhere is pedestrianised, and when I was there it certainly wasn't uncommon to do this. But obviously if you're going to less developed countries, you're gonna need a backpack. What is working in Australia like? Now, I've never done this, so I don't feel I could answer it, but I have some very exciting news, probably more exciting for me than it is for you. But in the next year or two, I'm hoping to move to Australia and work out there. Of course, I will make videos of all my preparations and when I'm out there of what I'm doing. But if you're keen to know now, there is a video I found by Psycho Traveller, and it's so informative, all about working in Australia, and I will link that video in the down bar below for your convenience. Okay, now back to Christiane and the past. But yes, in summary, Australia is amazing. If you have the opportunity to go, go. The more money you have, the better, but even if you don't, there's still so much you can do for free. And if you're a first-time backpacker, get yourself down to the East Coast, because that is the most touristy, but there is so much to do and see, and if you can go to more places, then by all means go. I feel as if there's probably a lot of things that I haven't covered because there's so much to cover when talking about Australia, but I will link as many links as I can down below. I mean, there's so many useful websites out there, but there are definitely some of my favourites which I think are the most useful when planning your trip to Australia. So I will link them down below, and I hope they're of use to you. My next video is going to be on New Zealand, which, believe it or not, I actually like even more than Australia. This just sounds like I like every single country, and I kind of do. But with my New Zealand video, I'm going to be talking about the Kiwi experience, if you've ever heard of that, because that's what I did, that's what I know about, and that's what I'm going to be recommending because it was bloody amazing. But yes, hope you found this video helpful. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Have a good one, mate. Go surfing some gnarly waves with the Aussie mate.
I'm moving to Sydney at the end of the year. I've got a long way to girl. I'm working full time at the moment and I hate it.
P. Sherman 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney. Mine, 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 mine.